Hey, what's up, guys? Thought I'd just do a quick video on the things that I've done to make money online. Be that traditional eBay, drop shipping onto eBay, Amazon FBA with private label, Amazon FBA with merchant fulfilled, and Amazon FBA with retail arbitrage. So those are kind of the things that I've done. So I just thought I'd give you the pros and cons of each. I managed to make a living online, and it can be done. So to start off, I did eBay kind of the traditional sense, where I would buy overstocks, do some retail arbitrage onto eBay, bought a lot of returns. I bought a lot of Amazon returns. So the pros of that are the margins are good. Generally I was making anywhere from 100 to 200% margins, which sounds great. The con of that is it's a lot of damn work. So you have to physically have all those products in your house. Somebody buys them, you got to ship them. Which, once you get set up with that, it's not that big a deal. I set up a scale, and I ordered the eBay shipping supplies, and you can get pretty quick at doing that. But every day you physically have to go get the product, package it. Everyone has to be photographed because they're all different. Unless you bought a bulk, like there was one time I bought off Alibaba. I bought a whole bunch of one type of unit. And that was pretty easy because you just slap a label on it. So if you're going to do traditional eBay, that's the best way to do it. But that's the biggest con, is that it just takes up a lot of space. And each one's got to be photographed, and so you have to get some materials to do that. You had to buy a good camera, had to buy a light box, all that stuff. So that was kind of the traditional eBay route. But the money was good. You could make a six-figure income consistently doing that. I didn't go out. There's a lot of people that go to thrift stores and do that routine, which you can make a lot of money. I did auctions. I would go to auctions and buy some used items. And you make a lot of money. I mean, some of those margins were way better. But it's a lot of work. You got to go to the auction. You got to load the stuff in your car, so on and so forth. So I mostly did it where I used an auction site and bought Amazon returns in bulk. And they would come either on a pallet or in a box. And they'd come right to my house, so I didn't have to leave the house. So that was how I did it. And then the post office comes and picks them right up. I had a zebra label printer. So, I had it pretty streamlined, but again, you do have to store all those items. But the margins are great. So that's one way. So the next eBay-related thing I've been trying is the eBay drop shipping, which is good. I got totally burned when I first started doing it because I didn't do it right. I went to Kohl's, found something on sale, made a listing on eBay. I sold 3 immediately. I go to Kohl's to order them, and they're all sold out. So I didn't want to screw up my eBay account. This item was like $100. And the cheapest I could buy it for was like 140, so I lost 120 bucks my first whack right out of the gate. I learned a few lessons since then, but I managed to make money with it. The margins are thin. You got to sell a lot of volume. You're looking at probably 10% roughly back and all the little different tricks. It's pretty low margin, high volume, so you got to do a lot. But the pro of it is you don't have any stock. So anyways, that one I can say, you don't need a lot of capital because you're getting paid up front. So that part of it's pretty good. Amazon, you guys know I love Amazon. So we'll start with retail arbitrage. Retail arbitrage on Amazon, if you buy the right products, is very low risk. That's what I like about it. It's also pretty easy. So I go to a store, I buy a lot of stuff, I put it in a box, send it to Amazon, or sometimes I buy it by the case now. So if I go to a store and I find something great, let's say they have, I did a video on grocery, but I bought some little cookies, and they come in boxes of 24. So I just bought the cases. And then in that case, all I have to do is weigh it, and throw a label on it, and off it goes. So it's pretty easy once you get set up with doing retail arbitrage. And the margins, I generally am still hitting consistently 100 to 200% margins. So I'd say the biggest con of that is you have to go get the product, and you got to consistently source product. I found that I find a couple stores that have a product consistently, so that's not as bad of a thing as it sounds like. But also, scalability is a little bit difficult. You can only, it's a fair amount of work to do it. But you can make great money on it. It's low risk, and your stock turns over pretty quick if you buy smart. The con of that is, you're at Amazon's mercy, which, they can be tough to deal with. There's a lot of categories that are gated, so I'm going to do a video about ungating, but at least initially you may have, be restricted in certain categories. There's also the money lags a little bit in that, so I got to go buy all that stuff. So I either got to put it on a credit card or have the cash available to buy the product. Then I send it to Amazon, which is probably this time of year 7 to 10 days before it goes live on the site. if it's sold immediately, I'm still looking at 2 to 3 weeks likely before I actually get paid. So you got to have some capital in order to do that. There's definitely a lag there. So we can talk about Amazon Merchant Fulfilled. So Merchant Fulfilled is more like eBay in that you have a product here at your house, you list it on Amazon, somebody buys it, then you actually ship it to the person. So I had mixed luck with this. I think it's just much easier. It's definitely not my preference. But if you had a big bulky item or something, you can certainly do it. I like the idea that I send something to Amazon when I do it FBA. Once I ship the item, all I got to do is monitor it and monitor the price, really, and it's gone and it's out of here. So I like that part of FBA. I think also you get more sales that way because it's Prime eligible, etc. So I'm not a big fan of FBM, but a lot of people do it, and you can certainly do it successfully. The other Amazon, niche or method, I guess, would be a better word, to do private label. So I do private label. If you watch my channel, you know that. I do private label. I import products from China. I private brand them. The pros and the cons of that. So the pro is that you can generally make pretty good margins. I sell items. This is gross margin. There's a lot that goes into it, but in some cases for 8 to 10 times what I pay for it. Amazon takes a huge bite, so that's a little bit misleading. But you can consistently make 50 to 100% margins, I would say, if you're doing it right. So that's pretty good. It's also, you could order 500 units, have them shipped directly to Amazon, ultimately, and you don't have to really touch it. You can just kind of middle the deal. The cons of that are, there's a lot of competition. So let's say your supplier decides that they want to sell the same widget as you. Well, guess what? They can sell it for a lot less money. So you can see there's a lot of volatility in that market. Now, if you really try and build a brand, you can insulate yourself from that a little bit, but you're still subject to some volatility as far as the price goes. And if you sell a lot, Amazon may decide that they're going to brand it Amazon Basics and sell it themselves. So anyways, those are some risks that are there. You're also dealing with China and people that are a world away. So there's the possibility that you get screwed in that deal. There's also the risk that your product, there may be 2 sellers now. By the time you go through the whole process, I've seen this happen a lot. I'll give you an example. There was it was on one of the Facebook groups today. It's a letter board. And I had several people, I've helped a lot of people with their Amazon business. And I had several people say, hey, this is looking really good on Jungle Scout. And I was like, wow, I don't know, that doesn't seem like a good product to me. And I've had several people contact me about the same product, which tells me it's not going to be good. And what happened is, it was really good on Jungle Scout, so a whole bunch of people ordered them, and then all of a sudden the market is flooded and the price is down, and everybody's losing money. So that definitely is a risk if you're doing, private label on Amazon. So the other thing, again, with private label, you have to buy all that product up front. You got to pay to ship it here. You got to pay for professional photographs. You got to pay for a listing designer. There's a lot of expense, and then you got to pay Amazon to promote your listing. You got to do Facebook ads, etc., etc. So that is there's certainly people that have done it on a shoestring. I would say that's not likely. In my experience, my first order, I had to get reviews, I had to do all those things. I didn't make any money. I lost money, I'm sure. And then I had to reorder. So whatever money I got back, I had to add to it. And then by the time you get your second or third order, you start making money, and you can make, that's a very scalable business. And one of the big pros is it's very scalable, and you can make, significant people making millions of dollars. You're not going to probably, I don't think it's likely to be able to scale an eBay dropshipping business to making millions of dollars consistently. I just don't think it's possible. I mean, it might be possible, but I don't think it's likely. I think you're going to hit a point in that business model where it's tough. Same thing with retail arbitrage. You might be able to make, if you want to make 100 or 200,000, you could probably do that in retail arbitrage fairly. I'm not going to say easily, but that's very reasonable, I would say. You start getting up, you want to make $500,000 or $1 million a year, you'd have to turn so much product in retail arbitrage that I think that would be challenging. The other one is wholesale. I didn't mention that, but wholesale, there's been kind of a lot of stuff online lately about doing wholesale on Amazon. So wholesale is where you make an arrangement with the supplier to buy, 50, whatever, pick a product. Apple iPhones, that's probably a bad example, but you buy 50, send them to Amazon, you're authorized distributor, everything else, but your margins again are in the 10 to 20%. So to me, the margins are too small to you know, unless you have a big stack of capital. If you had a big stack of money and you were just looking to make a 10% return, wholesale is probably a good way to go. For that small margin, if there's a price drop or a new product comes out or something, it's not really worth it. I'd rather do retail arbitrage. Like I said, unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars that you want to use, in which case wholesale probably makes sense. So there you go. That's just a quick rundown of kind of some different online money-making ideas. You're going to ask about affiliate. I haven't been able to crack affiliate, so I can't really tell you much about that. I made a couple $100. I have an Amazon affiliate and I have a eBay affiliate account, and I make a few dollars on each one of those, but nothing to write home about. So if you know about affiliate, comment below. Maybe we can do an interview or something. But anyways, there you go. There's some ideas for making money online and what my thoughts are. See you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe.